Hey everybody, welcome back. Now, in this section of looking at the 7 fundamentals of communication, part 2, we're going to look at influence, and this is a fascinating one. Shameless plug, I've got an entire training on persuasion strategies that you'll absolutely love, because I'll tell you, without the ability to persuade people, to motivate them, to influence them, you're not going to get much done in life. So, one of the first things you want to do in communication is look at what tools of influence you're going to use. I guess you got to either take my course or gather them, but have a tool chest of communication skills specific to influence that you can use in any situation, and then go ahead and plug them into the important upcoming situation, and you'll do absolutely fantastic. Now, also notice what tools they're most susceptible to. You know, it might be appealing to their ego or vanity or their greed or their need to do good in the world. It can be a lot of different things that you can use. And there's a million different tools, like I said, but everybody has certain ones that work better on them and worse on them. So pick the best of the best, specific to them, your target audience, and match to. The other key thing with influencing somebody is understanding, how do they see things? It doesn't matter how you see things. When you want to be influential, you have to come from their place, where they're at, meet them where they are, understand how they see things, and then influence things based on their version of reality, because we all have our own versions of reality. Next, always be looking for win-win situations. Not I win, you lose, you win, I lose. No. Win-win situations are the absolute best. I'll tell you, about at least 9 times out of 10, you can find a win-win situation that'll allow you to influence the person. You can feel great about it. They can feel great about it. We call that what? Everybody wins. Next is feedback. So look at what kind of response you're getting. Are they happy? Are they concerned? Are they upset? Are they taking it in? Are they accepting it? Are they rejecting it? Do they look like they have questions in their mind? Always be scanning. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? And almost from a gustral perspective, what are you feeling? What's coming back from this person? People that communicate best are best at sensing what's going on, what type of response are they getting from the other person. Then their response is almost obvious. It's a reply to what they're sensing from the other person. That makes it easy. If you don't have that, it's very difficult. I don't care how skilled you are. So focus as much on what the other person is giving you back as in what you're going to say. Most people, they try to figure out, boy, I hope I present well, I do this, I that. They're worried about their presentation and not about the feedback from the other person. That is a mistake. The next most important thing to consider is, what are their concerns? What are their objections? Remember, if we can get past these, we what? That's right, we make the sale. So always be looking, see, are they pleased? Are we getting a positive response? And always keep checking to make sure that you're understood. And a lot of people will say, you'll say, hey, do you understand? And they'll go, oh, yeah. No, they don't. You have to check and look at all the signals that they're giving you to make sure that they understand. Sometimes I'll ask somebody to do something as simple as repeat it back to me, or I'll ask them a clarifying question. If you were to get your perfect outcome, what would it look like? And they start talking about something that was nothing that I was talking about, and I realized that they didn't understand. Even though they very sincerely shook their head. Yeah, oh yeah, I understand what I understand. No, they understood the question they thought I was asking and not the question I actually asked. So when you ask them, do you understand? A lot of times they'll look very sincere, like they do understand it. And yes, they do understand. They understand their wrong interpretation of what you said. And you look at them and you say, oh, they're very sincere. I can see they clearly understand just by looking at their face. No, you've got to get them to engage in the conversations in some way, shape, or form, such as to show you that they actually understand. Then you've got to win. Now, communication, like really most things in life, is all about adjustment. So be looking and thinking to yourself, kind of go down through this as your checklist. Do I need to change my strategy? Should I do a little more of this, a little less of this? Maybe I need a whole rethink. Maybe I should switch strategies. What tool strategies, techniques am I using that are currently getting the best responses? Maybe I want to use more like that, stay on that thread. Always be looking at where there's resistance. You know, how can I cut down resistance? How can I overcome resistance? How can I go around resistance so we don't even have it in the first place? Be a little proactive and adjust to what's going on in the other person in terms of body language, tone, and positioning. You want to see what's going on for the other person. In the last section I told you, be listening, 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 which means scanning, listening to their body language, listening to their tone, listening to their positioning. You want to make sure that you adjust for these things. This is the feedback that you're getting. So the last section was, am I listening to the feedback? Am I making the adjustments to the feedback? Is this section. And finally, meaning. Are they getting the right message? Not just any message, the correct message. That's the hardest thing to get across. So focus on them, get that feedback, make sure they're getting the right message. A lot of times people want to take things the wrong way. You got to massage them a little bit, you got to romance it a little bit, turn them around, get them moving in the right direction. Notice some of the things that you're doing that are helpful or hurtful. Should I use a little more emotion, a little less emotion? What's the right amount? How is my tone impacting the meeting? So you want to look at how your words are impacting it, your tone is impacting it, and next, body language. So we're always really concerned with how what I'm saying, how that's going over. But again, remember, tone and body language are 38% and 55% for a total of 93% of the communication and the meaning that they're getting from the communication. We did some demonstrations how important these things are. Make sure you're looking at those things as you're going through this important communication. A lot of times I noticed that a simple change of something as kind of obscure as pace. Was I talking too fast? Was I talking too slow? Should I have slowed down on certain words? Okay, that's pacing. Slowing down at certain points. We call them sometimes pregnant pauses are important. So pacing can be very important. That's it for this section. You're doing absolutely fantastic, and I'll see you in the next section.